if I hear one more time a well-published person drumming this concept of you have to be grateful. I'm grateful about the blue sky, I'm grateful about the running water. Okay, how is your gratitude journal doing 2 months in? How is it? To 99% of people that insist on the gratitude freaking journal, if it has to be constantly insisted upon, if it has to be rammed, there is obviously something missing. Change the damn word to enjoyment. What are you enjoying? What have you enjoyed today? How do you know? Again, I repeat because I said it in another video. How do you know when someone enjoys your food? When someone is grateful for your food, they enjoy it. So write an enjoyment journal if you really want it. And why do you write it? Why do you write it? So that someone up there, Mr. Santa Claus, saw why do you write it? Like, really look, is there really enjoyment in your life? If there isn't enjoyment in your life, think about it. How can you bring, but really it's like taking stock. It's like doing the accounts, taking your balancing your checkbook, or taking stock of your business and so on. I run my life on 80-20. To me, it has to be 80% fun at least and 20% effort at most. Even the sports that I do run on this premise, even cooking and everything that I do, unless it's enjoyable, I tend to not do it. Why? Because I want to enjoy my life. But this concept of you have to be grateful in order to change your vibe, in order to change your frequency. You have to do this in order to get that. You have to do this in order to get that. I say something else. Whatever is not giving you enjoyment, it's still enjoy it for the contrast that it's giving you. It's giving you the ability to see clearly what would you like instead. Why do you have so much contrast in your life, some of you? It's because nobody ever asked you about you. You entered a life on automatic. I said this before in another video as well. You entered a life on automatic. You were brought into this life. You were probably pulled by forceps. You were slapped into crying. You were pushed into kindergarten. You were pushed into schooling. You were pushed into this. You were shoved into being good enough for some job, and you are pushed around in your job, and you are pushed around in your relationships, and you have to do what it takes to please somebody. So the reason your life is offering you contrast, it's because truly you are born into one body, the body of you, for yourself. The only way you could be of any value and service is to be totally, completely, and utterly selfish. Until then, you are nothing but offering crutches and offering a false sense of security to those you're pushing yourself to help. Get off the high horse and start getting a little bit more self-aware. Yeah, that's called selfish. Absolutely, that's called selfish. And I don't give a shit about the connotation of this word. The only way, look at the people that are most appreciated, they figured out what they can do best, what gives them the biggest joy. That's what gives them the biggest enjoyment, makes them be fantastic at it. And those are the people that we notice. Those are the people that make a wave. Those playing martyr and those self-sacrificing, they're just bitch slapped around, and so it should be. So it should be. If you're bitch slapped around and unappreciated, say thank you. Say thank you, because you were born into your own body for your own self. Ask your mom if your mom loves you, if she gave you birth so you can there was an expression, the jackass whisperer, so you can be the jackass whisperer. Or does your mom and your dad, if you have them, do they want to see you happy? Now, plot twist, most don't. Most want you to make them happy and make them look good. Well, time to cut the umbilical cord then. But this concept of gratitude implies if you're goody-goody, if you get a certain vibe, then that certain vibe is going to take you somewhere. It's going to give you something. It's going to create something. So again, it looks at the timeline backwards. It looks at the timeline backwards. If you do this, then that. So every single journal of gratitude has been started. So you coerce some deity, something outside of you to give you more of something. Okay? So this is so primitive. I can't, and I just saw a video by someone with I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of followers, and she's a published author, and she's still preaching the same shit, because we're still looking even on quantum physics. Oh, this went through that, and then that happened. No. That is meant to happen, therefore, it's making you question. It's making you question the way you look at things. That's why quantum is so unpredictable, unquantifiable. And there are just theories around it. Because again, the perceiver, the person perceiving and testing the quantum theory goes again, I'm going to do this, that will do that, and that will get there. And no. The result that wants to be born, the future that wants to be born, creates your question in the present and created the past to bring you to the question. I will explore more, but it's just too far-fetched from most perspectives, because as I said, even the most out there theory that we've got to go, because Newtonian reality is so blah blah blah, it's so primitive and so on, so now we're into quantum my ass, because again, the same perception, the same mind tries to figure out what happens, because they don't understand it happened, therefore you try to figure it out. Timeline is retroactive. If there is to be a timeline, whilst we are in 3D, we still have perception. So, and in 4D and so on, until we fully live as the complete whole beings that we are gonna perceive a separation between here, there, and everywhere. Yeah. Until then, flirt stronger with timeline backwards. Future creates present, and the present created your past to bring you here. Why? Why do you play PlayStation? Are you making the game up? You know the game is finished. That's why you want to finish it. You bought the game ready, finished. This is exactly retrocausality. You go through the steps of the game to get to finish the game. That's what's driving you. Because you know the game is finished. You just need to find your path to the finishing end. You don't make up the game. The game doesn't have an unknown future. The game is finished. It's on the freaking CD. It's burnt. It's finished. There is an end of it. There is a finality of it. There is a top level